Hello.
How are
I
you?
good.
Can
How
you
about
see
you?
me?
Yeah, I can see you.
I'm doing fantastic, thanks.
Good. Everybody got on here so early, and it was crazy. I got on and thinking that it was going to take forever to get everybody on, and it was like everyone was on here. So everybody is super excited, and I was able to give them a little bit of a background on who you are and how we know you, and that you're a guy
That
with a
I
beard.
am.
With a beard. But anyway, if you want to just kind of tell them your story and get started, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Tim Thomas, and I do have a beard. That makes me very, very unique, I know. Um, and I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and absolutely love it. This company has completely changed my life. And I'm just really happy and grateful that Megan and Tara asked me to be on this call with you guys tonight. So thank you, and thank you everyone for coming and to listen to me. I am excited to be able to share some things with you guys. And so I'm going to just kind of go through and tell you all my story, tell you guys some things that are some tips. I'm going to give you some practical things. And I'm going to give you some big picture things as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to pull a few nuggets out of this. I know it's sometimes, if there's a lot of information coming at you, it might be hard to take it all in, but I always try to pull at least one thing out of everything that I hear from everybody else. And I've been able to learn a lot that way. Always pull one thing and try to apply it. So, so basically how I got started in this business and how I got started on the products was that Sonia Dudley, who is a Diamond Ambassador, I believe she was, I think she was a third or fourth Diamond Ambassador in the company. She was my wife's best friend. We knew her when we lived in Tennessee, and we moved to Florida so I could take a job there to be able to support my family back before we knew anything about Plexus. So about 6 months after we had moved to Florida, and my wife was staying at home, just kind of taking care of things there. She came to me one day to ask me if she could try out this Plexus stuff because she wanted to lose a little bit of weight, and Sonia Dudley was talking to her about it. And I reluctantly said yes because money was really tight. See, we had moved to Florida because I was working a job in Tennessee, actually working 2 jobs in Tennessee just to try to make ends meet. I wasn't even doing that. So got this job in Florida, was able to pay the bills, but things were still tight. In fact, I actually had to sell my second vehicle so that we could move down to Florida. So things were very tight. And, so when people come to me, and on a side note, when people say, oh, well, I just don't have the money to spend on it. I know exactly where you're coming from, but I wish I could take what I know and like transport it into their brain, because that chance that we took to try the Plexus products, number one, changed my health, and I'll tell you about that, but also changed our financial future and our opportunities that we were going to have from that point forward. So I went ahead and I said yes. And I said, but if you can make $50 a month at that, it would be great. And I was really, really in the back of my mind thinking, she probably won't, but I guess I'll figure it out, because I was still trying to figure out where the other 50 to pay for the products was going to come from. So, but my wife is very diligent. That's one thing that I always say, that from the very beginning, she was very diligent. And when somebody told her, this is what you do, that's what she did. And she just took every little thing she could and applied it and made it work. And the first month, we actually made money. And we were very surprised by that and very delighted by that. And it was pretty awesome. Now, when I first started on the products, like a lot of people, I didn't lose weight right away. It actually took me about 6 weeks to really start to see anything significant start happening. So I always encourage people, you got to keep going. You can't try Plexus for 3 days and say it doesn't work. You can't try it for a month and say it doesn't work. You've got to give it its opportunity to be able to actually do things in your body that your body needs before it's ready to actually lose weight naturally. You can force your body, if you starve yourself or dehydrate yourself, lose a whole bunch of water weight and all that kind of stuff. You can force your body to lose weight quickly, but it's not good for you and it won't stay off. I'm now down, personally down 50 pounds, and I have been able to do this now going on 3 years. Okay? So no one can tell me that it's not something that you can do, that can't happen, and that can't be sustained. I'm living proof that you can. Okay? It was a lifestyle change for me too. It was a positive snowball of good things that kept on changing in my life. Okay? So I'm going to try to shorten up my story here so I can get to some other stuff. But what ended up happening was 1 year in, after we went out and we did meetings everywhere. Every opportunity that we got, we went out and talked to people. We did meetings. We shared it on Facebook. We were very diligent to work hard. And what happened was 1 year in, my wife became an Emerald ambassador. I was almost a senior Ruby. And I said, let's do this. Let's go all the way in. And I went full time because we felt like if I would apply myself as well full time, then we could really make it happen. So that's what I did. And one cool thing was that, you remember how I said that I had sold my second vehicle to move down to Florida? Well, when we got there, my wife was not satisfied with kind of just being stuck at the house all the time. So about 3 weeks after we arrived in Florida, she came to me and she's like, hey, there's this scooter store and I want to go buy a scooter. And I can just ride it around. I can go down to the beach and stuff like that. And I said, all right. We went and looked at it. We actually got a scooter. And first couple of days, she rode it to the beach and she was just having a good time and, running errands and things like that. After the third or fourth day, she's like, hey, I need to go pick up some stuff today. I'm going to need to pick up the kids. Can you ride the scooter today? Now, mind you, this was a white scooter, okay? It was not cool. It was not manly. It was very white and very, very boring.
Did you have your beard then?
What's that?
Did you have your beard then?
I did.
I'm trying to picture it.
Yeah, it was pretty comical. So what I did was so what happened was, like the next day, she's like the same thing, right? Next day she's like, I need to, I need to do some other stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll ride the scooter again. And then it was the next day and the next day and the next day. So basically it became my scooter. And so to make myself feel a little better, I found this bumper sticker that said "Trophy Husband," and I slapped it on the back of the bumper of it. And I wanted everybody to know I'm in on the joke. I know it's hilarious, right? So anyway, the beautiful thing was, after we had been in the company for 1 year, actually it was about 11 months, Michelle became Emerald, and we got to go trade that scooter in for a Lexus. So that was huge. That was absolutely huge. And I remember driving down the road many times on that scooter, looking at cars and going, we could buy one now. We're making enough money. We're Ruby, senior Ruby. But I held on because I saw that vision. And that's one thing that's a part of my story, is that Plexus gave me my ability to dream back. I really had lost my will to dream. A lot of people, I think, start to let that kind of a thing fade off and you quit dreaming. Like when you're a kid, you imagine everything. You imagine you can do anything. But as you get older, you start to just tell yourself those things aren't real. It can't happen for you. But Plexus, because the products were so amazing and the business is so good, gave me my ability to dream back. And I started believing that I could do big things again. And so we've just kept on progressing and going that way. And honestly, we're not quitting. And I can dream now for huge things. So anyway, that's my story in a nutshell. Now I'm an Emerald ambassador. We've kept building. So I just want to kind of share with you guys some of the things that have helped me to get there. I know you guys are looking at things wanting to hear things from a guy's perspective. Here's the reality. It's the same pretty much for a guy that it is for a woman. You just have to have the will to work through the little things. And I can't tell you what all those little things are going to be. There's a few of them, but the reality is that it's the same pretty much for a guy as it is for a girl. You just have to put your mind to doing whatever it's going to take. And I'm going to go over some of those things and explain what I actually mean by that, because I'm not going to leave that up as like some arbitrary thing that you just have to imagine. I'm going to actually tell you what that stuff is. So here's some practical tips. And Megan, you can interrupt me, or Tara, anytime you guys want to ask questions or anything.
You're doing awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. So on the practical side, I'm going to start off with something for your business that you're probably not going to hear very often. Okay. This is the first thing. Practice what we preach. This is a health and wellness company. So start working towards better health for yourself. That means start eating better, eating more whole foods, less sugary foods, less processed foods, start eating more natural foods, start exercising, drink more water and less of everything else. Don't look at medicine as a way of life, but rather a last resort. Okay? So that means rather than reaching for an ibuprofen next time that you get a headache, which thankfully I have not had a headache in a long time, and I just so happen to be using Plexus, so that's pretty awesome. But next time that you get a headache, don't just reach for an ibuprofen. Ask yourself some questions. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I dehydrated? Have I been drinking enough water? If you're not somebody who's prone to headaches, I'm saying, but you're somebody who just occasionally gets a headache, why is that? There may be some things. Am I not eating the right foods? Is there something in my food that I'm eating that's not good for me? What did I eat last? And start thinking of things in more of those ways, okay? But I will reiterate this. Start eating better. Start working out. Start exercising. Get up and move your body, because that's the positive snowball. That's what Plexus can start for you. When you start on the products, you start feeling better. Use what you have and do something with it. Get up and move. Okay, so that's my first. That is not only a health recommendation, that is a business recommendation, a very big one. All right, the next one is one that you're going to hear over and over and over and over and over, but it's the big three. Make 2 to 3 new contacts every day. Follow up with 2 to 3 leads and talk to 2 or 3 of your ambassadors if you have them every day. Those should come as early in the day as possible, because those need to be the things that are highest on your priority list. Now, I understand you may not be able to talk to a new person first thing in the morning. However, it should come before, other things that aren't as important, if you can make it happen. So in other words, as early as possible in the day that you can get those things done, the better. Because that means you're off to the right start for the day, and everything else comes secondary after that. Okay? All right. The next thing was post on social media. Yes, we always talk about that. Be consistent, but be interesting. Okay? Don't post the same kind of post every day. Pictures do say a lot. They need to be integrated into your life. They need to be things that you're doing, things that make you seem interesting, because people want to know about you. They don't just want to know about some product. In fact, 90% of the reason they joined is not the product. It's because of you. I heard someone say recently on a Diamond documentary that when they heard so-and-so, this Diamond, when they heard that they were doing Plexus, they knew it was legit. Mm-hmm. Because that person had so much influence. That person was somebody that they looked up to.
Ellen Ford, I think it was Ellen Ford.
Ellen Ford, yeah. It was,
yep, I think it was.
I love that. I love what they said, because it was just so telling of what actually draws people. Yes, the products are what's going to keep people, but you're what draws people.
Well, and
Okay?
we always say that, they have built their network for their whole life. This network that they have on Facebook that's watching them, they've watched their whole life before Plexus, prior to Plexus. So important. And you and Michelle both do an awesome job at keeping your regular life in your Facebook.
Stay interesting, right? Stay you.
Yeah, exactly.
Plexus, puke it all day, every day.
We feel like we have to, because Plexus is so much a part of our life. It's so much a part of what we do. We have to post about it. But if all we ever did was throw up Plexus on people, like, hey, look at this picture of Plexus Slim.
Right.
People would think that we're not genuine. It's not really who we are anyway. Why would we make that the only thing that we talk about? It has to integrate into your life. So be interesting. Think of interesting ways to be able to talk about it. Don't just lazily throw up a picture of Plexus Slim or whatever. I mean,
post a picture of you holding Slim.
Sure, post a picture of you holding Slim. Talk about how you went for a run today, and but before that you drank your Plexus and you felt awesome, or after that you drank your Plexus, I'm going to go drink my Plexus and I've got this to do next. Tell people what you're doing. That's what people have always done with social media, is tell what they're doing. So tell what you're doing. Okay, the next thing, read books that will uplift, inspire, and grow you. Read at least 2 chapters a week. Okay? Those are things. Now, some people put learning on this high station. Like, it goes way up to the top. And I do believe that learning should be up at the top, but it's not above talking to people. Okay? You've got to talk to people. If you're just learning, but you're never talking to people, you'll never get anywhere. Okay? That's why I say read about 2 chapters a week. Okay? Because it needs to be there. You need to be growing, but you've got a lot of things to do. Okay? So make sure that it is a part of your life, but make sure the other things always come as you're doing more of the other things. All right. Here's another interesting one that I feel like is hugely important and gets overlooked a lot of times. Make an effort to do something new and interesting with your life. We're talking about posting on Facebook, right? So if you want to have something to talk about, do something. Do something new. Do something that will enrich your life. Okay? So what does that mean? Like, learn a new skill. You should always be improving. And this is going to bring you new opportunities, because you're going to meet new people as you do this. And people are going to look up to you for all the things that you're doing. So learn a new language. Become a fitness professional. Become a certified health professional. Take speaking classes or even acting classes to become more comfortable in front of a crowd. Learn Photoshop so that you can create nice marketing materials. Take writing classes. Do things that are going to work and you can integrate into your business, or just interesting. You should be learning something new all the time. You should develop a new skill every year, something that you can apply not only to your business but in other areas of life. Those things, I honestly believe, have given me more opportunities just because I put myself out there. I've gone out and coached a basketball team when I'd never coached a basketball team before, at the level that I was doing it at. Michelle has gone out and coached soccer teams so she could be around other people. I've learned since I started Plexus, I learned how to use, when I say Photoshop, I'm not talking about the app that you have on your phone that's like, fix your photos. I'm talking about the real Photoshop, where it actually takes some time and skill to learn it. So, like, I've learned how to do Photoshop. I've learned how to build websites. I've learned how to do all kinds of video and all kinds of things just as an integration in my business. I also became a certified personal trainer. I keep on learning new things, and I keep on trying to develop myself. And now I go around and speak all over the place, so I've had to learn how to speak. So those are all skills that, had I not learned, I don't think I'd be where I am. All right. Always have your business card on you. Always be looking to talk to people and always try to get their information. I use Facebook as a virtual business card. So I'll give them my business card, and then I get their name, and I a lot of times will try to connect with them on Facebook right then. And that way they see me friend them, and I can see them friend me, hopefully. And then now they're seeing my posts. So I'm getting more contact with that new person, and I'll have more opportunities because then I can message them through Messenger later on. All right. Okay. Set goals that will stretch you. Your goals have to stretch you. It must, and I repeat, it must be big. But you must also believe that you can do it. Okay? It has to be something that's big, but it has to be something you can believe that you can do. It might be hard to believe it, but if you can believe it just a little bit. There's a verse in the Bible. It says if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can speak to a mountain and tell it to be cast into the sea and it will be done. Okay? You might not actually have 100% belief, but if you have a little bit of belief, you can do it, then go for it. Never set a small goal. You won't get anything accomplished because you will always be telling yourself that you can do it tomorrow. Okay? Never set a small goal. It just won't work. You have to be tenacious, and it's okay to feel some pressure because diamonds are formed under pressure, right? So it's okay to feel some pressure. It's actually a good thing. And progress, honestly, progress is only found beyond where you've already been. So you've got to step out. You've got to keep moving. You've got to keep growing. And if you want to be a diamond, start acting like one now. Look, I'm an emerald ambassador, but I never think like an emerald, like I have to think I'm 3 levels lower than a diamond. I think like I'm a double diamond. I'm going to do everything it takes, whatever it takes. I'm going to make sure that if I'm standing around not doing something, then I'm probably not accomplishing enough. Even though I have all this freedom, am I going to waste that freedom, or am I going to make more out of what I have? Because sometimes people look at it like, oh, well, once you get into network marketing, you get to the top, you can just sit around and all day. That's not really what freedom is. Freedom isn't sitting around all day. That's boring. Freedom is being able to do what you want to do and make more out of what you have. And that's what I'm doing. So I treat every day like a huge opportunity. All right. So those are some practical things, guys. All right. And I'm just going to move on to big picture, and we'll wrap things up. Everyone wants to go to diamond. This is the first thing. Everyone wants to go to diamond, but not everyone wants to do the work. It's not luck. It's perseverance. It's time. It's pressure. It's running the distance, and it's figuring it out. Sometimes your upline isn't going to have the answer. You have to figure it out. Sometimes nobody else is going to have the answer but you. You can't quit because nobody else has the answer. You've just got to figure it out. That's what will make you a leader in the long run. And the other thing is, it's the middle that matters. Okay, what I mean by that is, so we all want to find the next rock star on our team. So we start Plexus, and we imagine ourselves as a diamond, or we imagine ourselves finding that rock star. It's what you do in between the time that you start Plexus and you find that rock star, or you get to that next level, that matters. It's all the stuff that I just listed out that you have to be about doing in order to get to that next rock star and that next level. So that's basically all I want to say there. Okay, don't sweat the small stuff. Okay, during your middle time, while you're going from silver to gold, or gold to senior gold, or ruby to senior ruby, on and on, during your middle, you are going to have problems. You're going to have things to overcome. Don't sweat the small stuff. What I mean by that is work more on you than what you worry about all the stuff that's going on. Okay? You can't fix personally all the stuff that's going on. You can work hard, you can help your people, but you can't fix it all. So don't worry about it all. Work on you. Work on how you can improve during that time, because things are going to get fixed. Problems tend to work out over time when you have perseverance. And that's why you got to stick with it and why you got to keep on running. Because that's the only way to get there. It's during that middle that you prove yourself, and that's the part that matters. This is another big one for me. I did this last summer, and it changed the way that I began looking at things. I took the word busy out of my vocabulary. From now on, it's a curse word. Okay? The reason why is because if you allow for busyness to be your reason for not doing something, then you won't build this business. That's all there is to it. The truth is, it's always about priority. So the next time you start to tell someone that you're busy, you need to stop, or you start to say, use it as an excuse. When they asked you if you did something, you start to say, oh, I was busy and I didn't get to do it. Stop yourself and say, instead, I did not make time for it, or I didn't make it a priority. Okay, because that's the reality. You'll find yourself actually getting more done, and you'll also stop committing to doing things that shouldn't be priorities. Because nobody wants to tell somebody, I didn't make it a priority. Okay? The last thing is this. It's always about the products. Big picture, it's always about the products. The Plexus products are what drives our business and make us great, and they're why we will be a legacy company. So never ever lose sight of the fact that while you're out there building this, it's always about the products. Okay, guys.
Good stuff.
Tim, awesome. Oh my gosh, so awesome. Do you mind if I ask you just a couple of little questions?
No, go right ahead.
I'm going to try to drill you, and this isn't a trick question like you did to me.
Okay.
So what would you say has been your biggest struggle and your biggest, I guess, your fear, your biggest, what has held you back a little bit in this business, and how did you overcome that?
The biggest struggle is just being consistent on a day-to-day basis. I find that I'll get busy, as I said before, and I use that as an excuse. I'll get busy. What the reality is I'm not making a priority. And so that's why I had to take that word out of my vocabulary. I had to tell myself that that's not a good enough reason. I'm simply just not doing what I should be doing. And so the biggest struggle is that you have to make sure that you're doing those simple things, the big three. You have to be doing those every day. When I say every day, I mean, look, set it up so that you have your business plan scheduled out. If it's 5 days a week that you're doing that, that's fine. Or if it's 3 days, just realize that whatever time you pull away, that's time that you're not growing. Okay?
Right.
So it doesn't take very long to do the big three. Honestly, it's very, very little time that you have to invest to do those things. But most people will do those the very last. They'll do all the other things that they could have done that day, like post on Facebook and read a book and read a new testimony and watch a video and message back and forth with their friends. I mean, they'll do all that stuff and they'll go, oh, I was so busy today. I didn't get to message my new ambassadors. I didn't reach out to anybody new. See, that's what I'm saying is like those things have to be done every day. That's just all there is to it. And there's one that I didn't put in there, but you should have a day of rest. I've chosen Sunday. Okay, I believe that you can do it whatever day, but I've chosen Sunday as my day of rest. And what that means is that we typically do not do social media on Sundays because that's such a huge part of our business. It feels like we need to take a step away from that one day a week so that we can clear our minds and grow ourselves in other ways and just have some family time. And I believe it also honors God, so that's why we do it. But so those are that's, you know, I think that does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great.
Basically, you're saying a lot of people do a lot of activity, like they're reading their books and they're posting on Facebook and on team pages. But it's the action that people need to take, actually going out there and making things happen.
Yep.
And the 3 things you're saying are reach out to 3 new people, follow up with 3 of either customers or ambassadors, and then reach out to 3 of your ambassadors if you have them, right?
Right. If there's 2 things I could pull out of everything I said here, because I know I said a lot, and reiterate as the most important things, it was the big 3, and take busyness out of your vocabulary, because those 2 things will help you get the farthest. You'll start to get all the other stuff done. Does that make sense?
When you say to reach out to 2 to 3 people a day, are you actually reaching out and telling them about Plexus, or are you just maybe going and finding somebody you haven't connected with in a long time and commenting on their post and starting a conversation?
I mean, actually talking to people about Plexus.
Okay.
I mean, that can be in a very casual conversation. It doesn't have to be like a heavy half hour of talking about Plexus. It needs to be really should be a casual conversation, and you might get one serious conversation every couple days, you know, where you're getting ready to or a few days, maybe once a week, where you're actually, you know, somebody's really serious and they want to sign up, you know, but the thing is, you got to be connecting with people, talking about Plexus every day.
Yeah.
So you can do that. There's different methods of doing that. I mean, people who like your post, comment on your post, those are people you can reach out to. People, if you start working out, you're going to have people to talk to. You go to the grocery store, you got people to talk to. You go to the post office, you have people to talk to. You know, you go to work, you have people to talk to. Some people will say, well, I work all day long, I never have any time. So you never go anywhere else. You never do anything else. I mean,
right.
Or I work 3 jobs. Well, that's a lot of people to talk to if you work 3 jobs. You know, it's those things that we make excuses for ourselves when the reality is that we're just simply not doing what we are going to have to do. You can make excuses all day long, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I want to tell you something: you're not going to be a Diamond Ambassador.
No.
That's all there is to it. You have to come to the realization that you can either have your excuses, or you can not have your excuses and work and have the opportunity to be a Diamond Ambassador.
Well, and it's so important for people to realize that you fit this in. You know, you make it important if it is important to you, and you fit it in. I still work 2 jobs other than Plexus. You know, you can do it. You just fit it in where you can. And I think that's so important. You know, what he's saying is just get that stuff off your plate. Do those action items as soon as you can, so it's done. And then you have the other free time that you have that you want to spend on Plexus. You know, you can do your little things, but all your big stuff is done for the day.
Agreed. Yep, absolutely.
So, Tim, I can't thank you enough. This was wonderful. You did an awesome job. And
thank you.
I think as long as Tara doesn't have anything else to say, I think that we'll let you go. We've kept you for almost an hour now. So, Tara. Well, I don't know where she went, but go ahead, Tim.
I really do appreciate you having me on. And you guys go out there and do this. It's so ready for the taking for anybody who wants it and wants to go after it and is willing to do the things that we've talked about. It's ready. I mean, this company is only going to grow, and this is the greatest opportunity that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay. Talk to you soon, Megan.
Bye.
Talk to you later, everybody. Bye.